Hi, everyone. Happy day after Valentine's Day. I hope you found on your chairs a little gift, right? There's plenty for everyone, and if there's any left over, feel free to take them with you as our gift to you. Today we are talking about the edge of the known. All month we've been talking about being about what did I say it was called? About embracing the edge, right? So this week we're going to talk about the edge of the known. So I have a question for you. It's very simple. Have you ever been in a moment where there was nothing left to say, and yet something important was happening? Have you ever been in a moment where there was nothing left to say, and yet something really important was happening? I know my husband is probably going to get quiet, never, right? But maybe you were sitting with someone you love, or maybe you were walking along the ocean. Maybe you were in the middle of grief or awe or uncertainty. And the words just didn't fit. So we live in a world that's very good with words. We analyze, we explain, we clarify, we post, we respond. We fill space quickly, sometimes beautifully, and sometimes anxiously. Howard Thurman once wrote, "We do not know each other yet. We have not dared to be silent together." That line stayed with me. See, we assume we know each other because we've exchanged stories, because we've shared opinions, because we've described our experiences. But Thurman suggests there's another layer of knowing, one that only emerges when we stop talking. And if we're honest, silence can feel uncomfortable. When the words stop, we lose control of the narrative. We feel what's underneath, and we can't hide behind explanation. I had a moment like this recently. I had a friend who was going through a really difficult transition. Nothing catastrophic, just the kind of shift that kind of shakes your footing, right? We met for coffee. And at first we did what we always do. We talked it through. We analyzed every angle. We tried to solve. And then she just stopped. She looked down at her cup, and her eyes just filled with tears. And for once, I didn't rush in. I didn't offer advice. I didn't try to say anything helpful or spiritual. We just sat there. It couldn't have been more than a minute, but something changed. Later, she told me that was the first moment all week that I didn't feel like I had to hold it together. See, nothing profound had been said, but something real happened. And I realized maybe that's what Thurman meant. So in The Science of Mind, we're told the silence is our communion with spirit, our awareness of our unity with good. Communion, not performance, not persuasion, communion. There's a short verse in Psalms that says, "Be still and know I am God." Be still. Not figure it out and know, not argue and know. Be still. Just be still. See, stillness doesn't mean that we're being passive. Stillness means that we're being receptive. And that brings us to the idea of the edge of the known. The edge of the known is a place where our explanations stop working, where our usual frameworks don't quite cover it, where we sense something deeper, but don't have language for it. Individually, we encounter the edge of transitions in grief, in falling in love, in aging, in becoming who we are. And collectively, we encounter it too, in culture, as a community. There are conversations unfolding that don't have simple answers. Questions about belonging and justice, identity, healing. And sometimes we rush to fill the space with certainty because uncertainty feels dangerous. But what if uncertainty is sacred? Ernest Holmes envisioned a world transformed by people who live, quote, from God to God, unquote. Even 1,000 people, he imagined, rooted deeply in spirit, could shift the world. 1,000 people rooted deeply in spirit can change the world. That kind of rootedness does not happen in loud opinions. It begins with listening. Listening. Anybody ever read Alan Watts? Yeah, Alan Watts. Woo, that'll blow your mind. But he wrote that the many and the one are words trying to describe something we already sense but can't logically capture. Let me read that again, because my lips went crazy there. He wrote that the many and the one are words that are trying to describe something we already sense but can't logically capture. See, beneath language, beneath difference, there's something shared. But we don't argue our way into that awareness, do we? We feel our way into it. Langston Kahn calls it staying at the inarticulate edge. The inarticulate edge of awareness, not leaping back into the mind to escape uncertainty. That phrase feels so honest, right? The inarticulate edge. The place where you sense that something is moving, but you don't have a tidy exclamation. I keep saying exclamation. Explanation, yes.
With an exclamation.
With an exclamation part, right. So what if we allowed that space together? What if we didn't rush to fill every silence? What if we trusted that spirit is present even when no one is speaking? See, silence isn't empty. Every word we speak comes from silence first. Silence is not the absence of communication. It's often the birthplace of it. Last Monday, I was having dinner with my Monday night dinner friends. And at the end, Lisa looked at me and she said, "I'm so sorry we weren't very chatty this evening." And I said, "Why would you be sorry? I was hanging out with my friends." None of us needed conversation. We just needed that community, right? We all just, we were together. And it felt good. See, what happened without conversation, it made something meaningful. It was that presence. We allowed the not knowing And in that shared not knowing, something steadier emerged. The edge of the unknown is not a cliff. It's a threshold. It's a doorway between certainty and trust, between performance and authenticity, between isolation and communion. So this week's practice isn't to say more. Maybe it's to pause. To leave a little space in conversations. To sit for a few minutes without noise. To be still long enough to notice what is already there. Because what waits beyond words is not emptiness. It's presence. It's communion. It's love. And perhaps we will discover that we know each other more deeply, not because of what we've explained, but because we dared to sit silent together. Now, because this is Valentine's Day weekend, I'd like to close with something simple. Valentine's Day can carry a lot of expectations, big gestures, perfect words. But love is often quieter than that. It's presence. It's attention. It's choosing to stay. So let's begin with breath. If you're comfortable, put your hand or both your hands over your heart. And let's just share a moment of silence. Now we're going to do a commitment to ourselves. So gently ask yourself, where have I been talking over my own truth? Where might I need to listen more deeply to myself? Don't fix, just affirm. Where have I been talking over my own truth? And where might I need to listen more deeply to myself? And now quietly affirm, I am willing to be present with myself. I am willing to listen inwardly. I trust what is unfolding in me. Let that settle. Now, if you are here with someone and you would like to participate together, Go ahead and turn to each other. No words yet. Just look at each other. If you have somebody in mind, bring them into the forefront of your mind. And let yourself recognize that this person has an entire inner world, hopes, fears, tenderness. And then out loud, we're all going to say together, I am willing to meet you beyond words. I am willing to meet you beyond words. I am willing to listen beneath what is said. I am willing to listen beneath what is said. I choose to grow with you. I choose to grow with you, even when we don't have all the answers. Even when we don't have all the answers. Thank you. So let's take one final breath together. See, love doesn't require certainty. You bring yourself back into the room now. Love doesn't require certainty. It requires presence. So today we don't promise perfection. We simply promise to stay with ourselves, with one another, and with the mystery unfolding between us. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. So happy day after Valentine's Day. I hope you all welcome my invitation to be mine, because I adore each and every one of you. You too online. I see you, Raina. And just know that together, I love this. Then we are experiencing the mystery unfolding between us because we choose to stay. Yeah. Let's pray, shall we? So again, affirming that there is one heart, one mind, one presence that is moving in, through, and around each and every one of us. I know that the love that we are seeking is seeking us, that the joy that we are seeking is seeking us. The abundance and health and prosperity and happiness and beauty that we may be seeking is seeking us. And together we could affirm that it is already ours. It is already ours. The joy is already ours. The healing is already ours. The community, the expansiveness, the understanding, the belief is already ours. And as we open ourselves to that, as we open ourselves to the love, it rushes in. It rushes in beautiful and magnificent ways into our awareness. It rushes into our awareness. So I know that for everyone seeking any one of these God qualities and more, that it is already there, that the world is experiencing peace right now. I'm knowing that anyone looking for healing is experiencing that healing right now, that love right now. That expansiveness right now. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this teachings of new thought, ancient wisdom. And I celebrate my community, both here, right here at MCSL, but my community, our community here. Our community here on the coast, here in the state, here in the country, here on the planet, and here within the universe. I celebrate all of it. And I say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I release this prayer into the law of mind, knowing that it is already done. And together you may join me in anchoring this prayer by simply saying, and so it is. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.